With that, we're going to move on to our morning keynote. And we have Laura Higgins with us from JP Morgan Chase Pacific, our presenting sponsor. And to introduce her, we have Margaret Madrigal, who's the Executive Director of Commercial Banking for Montana and Wyoming with JP Morgan Chase. Margaret?
Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Are you awake? Well, as Candace mentioned, I'm Margaret Madrigal. I also go by Maggie, but I'm here leading our firm's expansion into Montana and Wyoming. JP Morgan Chase is very proud to be this year's presenting sponsor for the Montana Business and Women in Business Summit. I want to take a quick second because Candace just called all of us out who have been heavily involved in the planning, but a special shout out to Candace, and raise your hand, Candace. I get to embarrass you for a minute here. Without Candace and all of our efforts around this would not have happened. So truly, thank you for what you've done and done for the state of Montana. This is a much needed women-focused event for the state. So we're really excited to be here, and our firm is very excited to be the presenting sponsor. This event is really special for me in particular. I think this is really a truly unique event where it's in celebrating and empowering women, entrepreneurs, leaders, and professionals across various sectors throughout the state. It provides a platform for women to connect and to share our experiences and learn from each other, fostering strong relationships and building our networks. I encourage all of you who are in this room and who elected to sign up for this year's summit, please network, network, network. This is what this conference is about. Build these relationships and make meaningful connections, because it's only going to continue to benefit our beautiful state. So now it's time for me to introduce my colleague, Laura Higgins. Very excited that she's here joining us today, but quick background on Laura. Laura currently leads the Diverse Business Initiative at JP Morgan Chase for our firm's Pacific segment. Our Pacific segment includes Oregon, Washington, California, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. So Laura's very busy traveling on the western part of the state, but Laura and her team focus on mobilizing the vast resources of the bank to support founders, CEOs, and business leaders from historically underrepresented backgrounds by providing financing, strategic guidance, and support for their businesses to help them grow and to scale their companies. Prior to her current role, Laura worked in JP Morgan Chase's procurement organization for 9 years, where she worked closely with our supplier diversity efforts and helped manage relationship with companies from a variety of sectors. Laura joined our firm in 2015, and prior to that, she held several leadership positions in technology at other firms, at other financial institutions. Laura currently resides in San Francisco, the San Francisco Bay Area, with her husband, Brian, her 3 sons, and 2 dogs. She spends most of her spare time on the sidelines of her son's soccer and lacrosse games. So we're very excited to have her. I know I'm bringing up somebody from California, but help me in giving her a Montana welcome. Give a round of applause for Laura. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So nice to be here. As Maggie mentioned, Laura Higgins. I lead, as she was saying, our initiative for the commercial bank in JP Morgan to really engage business owners from historically underrepresented communities, including women, of course. I'm an East Coast girl, though, so yes, I live in California now, but I am from the East Coast, and I'm thrilled to be here in Bozeman today. It's my first time in Montana. First off, what an event. I would love to congratulate Candace and her team on this amazing agenda. Let's give them a round. And again, the JP Morgan Chase team is honored to be here and a proud sponsor of this outstanding event. We are super hopeful that you all get a lot out of your time here. The title of my segment today is Empowering Women in Business. And as I reflected on the overall agenda, and the esprit de corps that was shared by the team this week. Esprit de corps, by the way, is a feeling of loyalty and pride that is shared by members of a group who consider themselves to be different from other people in some special way. This week, we're coming together in our esprit de corps, where the spirit of the group, as outlined by the esteemed event leaders, is as follows. We are trailblazers. We have vision, courage, and determination, and are committed to challenges, breaking barriers, and forging new paths for our communities and for generations to come. We educate, inspire, and empower. We lift as we climb, recognizing that true success is measured not only by personal achievement, but by the strength of the community we build along the way. We innovate and collaborate. With resilience and boldness, we harness the power of commerce, technology, and leadership to create meaningful change. We embrace varying perspectives, knowing that progress is fueled by collective action. We accelerate action. Just one example, as Candace was mentioning early, this Saturday is International Women's Day. We will get to see inspiring examples of leaders supporting, mentoring, advocating for, leading, and investing in our success as a society. Together, we are unstoppable. This Women's History Month, we pledge to move forward with purpose, bound by a shared commitment amongst women and allies alike to lifting each other up. Through this community we have created, we are blazing trails and shaping the future for all. So let's thank our esteemed event organizers for that esprit de corps. Together, we are blazing trails. This is the Montana Women in Business Summit. Okay, I want to talk about three things today. First off, my personal journey as a leader in both technology and financial services. Second thing is the unique challenges you as women in business and other represented groups face. And then thirdly, I want to talk a little bit about the work we do at JP Morgan that aligns to both our esprit de corps and the ways in which we can help business leaders face the challenges that I'll talk about, ultimately helping your company succeed. My hope is that at the end of this session, you will take away a few key nuggets that really make you think. You take a moment to evaluate your own leadership style, get ideas about ways in which you and your company can adjust to do more to support businesses in your community. And finally, and in line with our esprit de corps, identify what decisive steps you will take away to empower yourself and others in a way that will create new opportunities for all. Okay, my personal journey. I grew up at the beach in New Jersey, daughter of a school teacher and a boat mechanic. I was the first in the family to join the corporate world. I started my career as a software developer and worked my way up to leadership positions. And throughout, I wonder if the First Lady felt this way in her mechanical engineering days. Throughout my time in technology, I was most of the time the only female on the team or in the room. Early on, this worked well for me. The others on the team were very willing to help me out, which was very useful. But it wasn't until later, when I was in more of leadership positions, that I started to realize the differences. First of all, at that time, there were very few women in leadership that I wanted to be like. That was obstacle number one. Obstacle number two was the concept that I could actually continue on that career path and have a family, which is something that I wanted. And then obstacle three became kind of the typical female challenges. Fear that I couldn't do the next job, which I let hold me back. Fear of speaking up to ask for what I thought I deserved. No ask, no get. Fear of making my voice heard when I knew I had the better idea. If I'm honest, many aspects of obstacle three are still holding me back. While we're in a very different world now than we were then, and I'm in a very different role as a commercial banker, as I said, working to help underrepresented business leaders, we still have more to do. And everyone in this room is able to help. That is part of what this conference is about and why we are here, and our role is to help empowering women and underrepresented groups in business. Earlier, I mentioned being the only woman on the team or in the room. At some point in life, everyone's been the only in the room. The only person who looks like you, or the only person with your life experiences. It can feel unnerving or like a barrier to connecting or a barrier to achieving a goal. But I think we can embrace that uncomfortable feeling and channel it as a source of motivation. Over time, I became more comfortable leaning into the fact that I brought a different view or a different perspective to the group. I saw how ultimately it created richer conversations and better end products. It's a lesson I've seen out play many times with clients and other colleagues during the course of my career. If you're the only in the room, don't let it silence you. Embrace the challenge. Okay, next topic. The challenges facing you as women in business. It's well known that women and underrepresented business owners can face unique challenges when starting, growing, and sustaining their businesses. And I'll just rattle through some of the challenges, which I'm sure many of you already know, but access to capital is a big one. And this can be due to biases in lending practices, a lack of collateral, or limited access to the investor or venture capital networks. Networking opportunities is another challenge. Underrepresented groups may have fewer opportunities to connect with those influential networks that can provide things like mentorship, partnership, business opportunities, and this limits their ability to grow their business and access new markets. Work-life balance. Many women business owners juggle many roles. This creates additional pressure and time constraints. By the way, I'm a mom of 3, as Maggie mentioned, 3 boys, that is. Gender bias and discrimination. Women entrepreneurs can be underestimated by investors and clients and encounter stereotypes. Lack of representation. There's often a lack of representation in leadership roles in entrepreneurial spaces. This makes it hard to find role models and mentors. Remember my earlier comment about not seeing women in leadership roles who I wanted to be like early on. And then finally, access to markets. Breaking into male-dominated industries or securing contracts with large companies is another big one. Do any of these challenges resonate? So we know mid-sized businesses are critical drivers of our economy. They create jobs, build products, and enable solutions that power our day-to-day. While mid-sized businesses generate significant revenue nationally and locally, there's an opportunity to do better to support them as they face headwinds like increasing competition, slowing revenue growth, and uncertain economic outlook. JP Morgan collaborated on a report back in 2023 to uncover the challenges experienced by this often underlooked subsector that provides key insights that quantify the incredible growth potential within underrepresented mid-sized businesses. Here's a quick look at what we learned. There is a $1.3 trillion annual revenue opportunity that exists for underrepresented and women-owned middle market-sized businesses. Our research shows that these businesses represent 30% of mid-sized businesses, but only about 20% of the total revenue of those businesses. Closing this gap presents a meaningful opportunity to support national economic health and prosperity. Something else we learned, underrepresented mid-sized businesses are growing at a faster rate than their counterparts. They're growing at about 32% versus their counterparts at about 19%. Underrepresented mid-sized businesses are capital and guidance hungry. The majority of the underrepresented businesses fall into the early and emerging middle market phases of company growth, which account for the majority of projected capital demand. The research also points to a need for a range of trusted partners and targeted advisory services to guide the continued growth trajectory of these businesses. This includes things like succession planning, talent, organizational development, development, legal services, accounting services, marketing services. Lots of services are needed to support these businesses. And accessing needed capital and financing is disproportionately challenging for these underrepresented mid-sized businesses. Despite the obvious need we just talked about, It's not always easy for these companies to access support and resources. Among the businesses surveyed, 16% of them could not access needed financing compared to their counterparts, to just about 6% of them had issues with getting financing. So the moral of the story here is that better serving mid-sized businesses, including those owned by women and underrepresented groups, promises significant value creation for all of us. This research serves as a call to action for all of us to accelerate efforts to understand the needs of this middle market group and the dynamic businesses within it. Okay, third topic. What is the work we do at JP Morgan to help addressing these challenges? So for us at JP Morgan, it's about doing what we've done for decades, trying our best to ensure that every client has a fair opportunity and serving our communities so that they can grow and prosper. We believe that meeting the needs of all communities, including those that are historically underserved, is essential to our business and fosters a strong economy. So we're going to keep engaging all communities to find the best talent and to bank the broadest range of clients. This is good business to us. We will, of course, continue to follow all policies and laws, ensuring that we don't discriminate against anyone, and will adjust as we need to, like we do with all initiatives that we pursue. At its heart, we believe that fostering a strong culture and attracting and retaining the best talent benefits our business, our clients, and our communities. So the team I worked on that Maggie talked a little bit about focuses on helping entrepreneurs from a range of local, diverse, and women-owned businesses and backgrounds to unlock their potential and achieve success. We as a firm remain committed to doing this work, which has helped the firm deliver outstanding results for our shareholders. The work we do is about driving bottom-line results while helping to grow companies that are creating jobs and driving significant economic impact in the communities as a result. How do we do this? We do this by bringing the full strength and resources of our bank to help business leaders like you grow and scale your companies. Bringing you best-in-class financial services that streamline your business and help you operate in a safe and strategic way is table stakes for us. We also look to help our clients access capital, access relevant development opportunities, and create network connections to help their businesses grow and scale. At the end of the day, our goal is to understand where your business is, what are your needs and aspirations, and then how can we help? We know how hard entrepreneurs work to grow their businesses and manage their personal lives. We strive to make it easier for them with dedicated resources and expertise to help them succeed at doing both. So as my time with you comes to a close, I will remind you how I started. This event has created an esprit de corps. We are leaders in business, and as we come together this week, please make an effort to identify the decisive steps you will take to empower yourselves and others in a way that opens doors for all of you and creates new opportunities. And remember, if you are the only in the room, do not let it silence you. Embrace the challenge. Together, we are unstoppable. Thank you.